Episode 6. Gratitude in the middle of treatment. Welcome back. Today we're talking about something that may seem almost impossible when you're walking through a serious health challenge. Gratitude in the middle of treatment. Gratitude is easy when life is going well. It's easy when your body feels strong, when the lab results look good, and when life feels predictable. But gratitude in the middle of treatment is different. It's deeper. It's more intentional. And most of the time, it's something you have to choose, moment by moment. Gratitude is not denial of difficulty. It's a defiance against despair. What I've learned is that gratitude is not just spiritual, it's physical. When we focus on what is good, even in small ways, it actually helps calm the body. It can lower stress, quiet the mind, and bring a sense of peace in the middle of chaos. And when your body is already fighting something, peace matters. Several studies have shown the benefits of living in gratitude. The International University of Florida has shown that gratitude changes the biochemistry of your body. Being grateful releases the happy hormones, dopamine and serotonin. Living in fear, doubt, and complaining releases high levels of cortisol, often called the stress hormone, which affect nearly every system in your body, especially when it stays elevated over time. When fighting chronic illness, it is vital to live in gratitude to support your body and not to add any more stress. Treatment is not glamorous. Let's be honest. Treatment is inconvenient. When I was diagnosed with MDS, life suddenly became filled with things I'd never really thought about before. Blood tests, monitoring hemoglobin levels, watching platelet counts, waiting for results. It interrupts schedules. It drains energy. It reminds you that your body needs help. There are days I don't feel like going for treatment or transfusions. Days when I wish I didn't have to monitor numbers. Days when fatigue settles in deeper than I would prefer. Gratitude in the middle of treatment is not about pretending everything is okay. It's about anchoring your heart to what is still good, what is still true, and what has not changed. Even here, in the midst of chaos, there is always something to be thankful for. Not forced, but chosen. There's a rhythm that forms when you are living with a serious illness. Appointments, labs, waiting. Some days feel heavy. Some days my body felt incredibly weak, and other days the uncertainty felt even heavier than the physical symptoms. But somewhere in the middle of the season, I realized something unexpected. Gratitude was and is still possible. Gratitude changes the atmosphere. In 1 Thessalonians 5:18 it says, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." Notice what it says. It doesn't say give thanks for all circumstances. It says give thanks in all circumstances. I'm not grateful for MDS, but I am grateful in it. Grateful for doctors who are attentive. Grateful for nurses who call me a walking miracle. Grateful for blood donors I will never meet. Grateful for a husband who sits beside me. loves me so deeply and sincerely, and tells me every day how beautiful I am even when I don't look or feel it. He makes me feel cherished. Grateful for friends who love and support me, pray for me and check up on me. My sister is one of the people I'm so incredibly grateful for. Having her in my corner has been such a blessing through all of this. She doesn't just care for me, she cares for my whole family. And as a mother, there's something so deeply meaningful about that. There's a special kind of joy that comes when someone loves your children well. We have laughed together, cried together, and prayed together. And having her in my corner feels like an anchor to my roots, a reminder of where I come from, of shared history, of a love that has been steady through every season. She is so thoughtful in the little things. On hard days, she'll pick up Christina's favourite South African chocolate, a flake, just to bring a bit of comfort and a smile. And those small moments mean more than words can really capture. I've cut out sugar for the most part, but every now and then she'll surprise me with a special South African chocolate too. And honestly, it's not even about the candy. It's about what it represents. It's her thoughtfulness. It's her love. It's the way she pays attention. The way she shows up. The way she reminds me I'm not doing this alone. Those small intentional acts carry so much weight in a season like this. And I'm just so grateful for her. Proverbs 17:17 says, "A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity." And in this season, she has been exactly that for me. Not only does gratitude shift the atmosphere of the room, it shifts the atmosphere of my heart. Gratitude is possible even when life is hard. It's not easy, but it's possible. Psalm 107 verse 1 says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever." That verse doesn't change based on circumstances. God's goodness is not measured by how easy our lives are. His goodness is constant. And sometimes, gratitude is simply recognizing that His love is still present in the middle of the storm. For me, one of the moments that really changed my perspective happened during one of my appointments. I was sitting in the treatment area looking around the room. There were other patients receiving treatments and transfusions. And in that moment, I started thinking about something I had never really thought about before. The blood donors. Every transfusion represents a person who made a decision to help someone they will probably never meet. Someone took time out of their day, sat in a chair, and donated blood. And that blood was now helping someone like me. I realized in that moment that my survival was connected to the generosity of strangers. That realization filled my heart with gratitude. Gratitude not only for the blood donors, but also for the nurses who carefully monitor every transfusion, for the doctors who dedicate their lives to treating diseases like MDS, for the researchers who work every day trying to find better treatments. Suddenly, the room didn't feel like a place of sickness, but one of hope. Finding gratitude every day. In Psalm 118, verse 24, it is written, "This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it." Not the perfect day, Not the day when everything is resolved. This day, today, the day we are living right now. Treatment has a way of teaching you to appreciate the ordinary moments. A walk outside, a meal with family, a day when your energy is just a little bit stronger. Moments that once felt routine now feel like gifts. Sometimes through unexpected peace. Sometimes through simple moments that remind me life is still beautiful even in the middle of treatment. Sometimes you get the gift of a glimpse of life before the diagnosis and the hope of what the future may hold. October gave me that gift when Sorrel and I spent the weekend in Longboat Key. I shared about that magical weekend in episode 3. Another prayer that has carried me through the season is very simple. God, help me see your goodness today. And every time I pray that prayer, He answers. Sometimes through people. Other times, He just shows up and surprises me. This week was one of those moments where God gently reminded me that He sees me and that He cares. The past couple of weeks have been heavy. I've had to fight discouragement and fear more than usual. You know those seasons where it just feels like wave after wave and you're doing everything you can just to stay steady? That's where I've been. I truly felt like saying, when it rains, it pours, and oh boy, did it pour. And then, out of nowhere, I got a message from my sweet friend Clarissa. She told me she had sent me a little something through Amazon. I smiled when I read it and thought, that's so kind, so thoughtful. It lifted my spirit in a small but meaningful way. But later that day, when the package actually arrived, it became something more. Inside was a beautiful, soft satin robe, the exact length I love, in a pattern that felt like it was chosen just for me. And in that moment, something shifted. It wasn't just a gift. I felt like God was saying, I see you. I know what you like. I care about the details of your life. I stood there holding that robe and just felt loved. Not in a big, loud, dramatic way, but in a quiet, personal, deeply intentional way. And it reminded me that sometimes God's love shows up in the smallest packages, through the hands of people who are simply listening to Him. When I thanked her, she replied, You are welcome, my friend. I am so glad you like it. I pray that every time you put it on, you will feel the Father's love for you. May this robe be warm when you are chilled, and cool when the day feels stifling. May you continue to feel His peace cover you on your journey of health restored. Tears of gratitude rolled over my cheeks as I thanked God for showing up in such a powerful way and reminding me how much He cares for me through such a kind, thoughtful, and loving gesture from Clarissa. Thank you, my friend. What gratitude has done for me. There were moments in this journey where gratitude didn't come easy to me. It wasn't during the good days. It was during the waiting, the unknown, the lab results, the physical exhaustion. Gratitude for me looked like this. Thank you for one more day I feel okay. Thank you for the nurse who remembers my name. Thank you that I made it through today. It wasn't big, but it was intentional. And over time, I realized something powerful. Gratitude didn't change my circumstances, but it changed how heavy they felt. Gratitude has softened hard days. It has prevented bitterness. It has reminded me that even in treatment, I am surrounded by grace. When I focus only on what is wrong, everything feels heavy. When I intentionally notice what is right, strength rises. Even small things, a good lab report, a stable week, a moment of laughter with my grandchildren, a quiet morning with my father. Gratitude magnifies light. Gratitude does not minimize pain. Let me say this clearly. Choosing gratitude does not mean I don't feel tired. It doesn't mean I never feel frustrated. It does not mean I ignore the reality of the journey. It means I refuse to let hardship steal my ability to see goodness. On the hardest days, I started doing something simple. I call it micro-gratitude. I focus on these 3 things. One thing I see, one thing I feel, one thing I'm thankful for. Some days it sounded like, I see sunlight coming through the window. I feel a blanket keeping me warm. I'm thankful that I made it through today. In James 1:17 it says, every good and perfect gift is from above. Even here, especially here, sometimes those gifts are big. My church family has been such a gift to me through this journey. So many times someone will quietly drop off a meal at my door. And I know that might sound simple, but in the middle of a really hard day, when your body is tired and your heart feels heavy, it becomes so much more than just food. It feels like care. It feels like love. It feels like God providing exactly what I needed in that moment. I'm so deeply grateful for every text message that checks in on me. Every, I'm thinking about you. Every, how are you today? And the cards, beautiful, thoughtful cards, each one reminding me that I'm not alone, that I'm seen, that I'm being held up by people who truly care. But more than anything, I am grateful for their prayers, because there have been days when I didn't have the strength to pray the words myself, days when fear felt loud, and discouragement felt close. And in those moments, I know they were praying for me. James 5:16 says, the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. And I have felt those prayers. They have carried me through some of my hardest days. But many times, gifts are incredibly small. A kind word, a smile, a good lab report, a day when your body feels just a little bit stronger. These small moments become reminders that God is still working in the middle of the journey. Gratitude is strength training. Gratitude is a discipline. Some days it comes easily. Other days, I have to look harder. But the more I practice it, the more natural it becomes. It trains my heart to look for evidence of faithfulness. And there is always evidence. Sometimes it looks like stable numbers. Sometimes it looks like peace that makes no logical sense. Sometimes it looks like simply getting through another day steadily. Gratitude doesn't erase the difficulty of treatment, but it does change how you walk through it. Instead of only seeing the struggle, you begin to see the grace that is carrying you through it. If you're walking through treatment now, I want to encourage you with this. Gratitude is not pretending everything is okay. Gratitude for me became less about what was happening around me and more about who was with me in it. Even when my situation didn't change, God's presence didn't leave. And sometimes the most powerful gratitude is simply, thank you for being here with me. Gratitude is recognizing that even when everything is not okay, God is still present, and His presence changes everything. Maybe your treatment looks different. Maybe it's chemotherapy, medication, physical therapy, or simply managing a chronic condition quietly. Wherever you are in the middle, I want to gently ask, what can you be grateful for today? Not in a dramatic way, in a real way. Because gratitude does not wait for the finish line. It walks with you through the race. This journey has taught me something profound. Gratitude is not naive. It is powerful. It keeps my heart tender. It keeps my perspective balanced. It keeps despair from taking root. I may be in treatment, but I am also in grace. And that is enough for today. Before we close today, I want to leave you with one final scripture, Colossians 3:15. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts and be thankful. Peace and gratitude go hand in hand. When your heart is anchored in gratitude, peace has room to grow. And that peace becomes a steady strength, an anchor in the middle of treatment. So today, wherever you are in your journey, take a moment to notice something you are grateful for. It may be small, but small moments of gratitude often reveal the biggest reminders of God's faithfulness. And sometimes, gratitude in the middle of treatment becomes one of the most powerful testimonies of faith. If this gave language to something you've been feeling, share it with someone who needs help in finding gratitude in a difficult situation. Like it by clicking the thumbs up, subscribe and follow me by clicking the bell sign. This will help me reach more people. Until next time, stay anchored.